See a couple people.
Rich? No, it's
Good.
See
Yeah, let's go with
It was a
other.
different
Out there,
Okay.
yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Let me just take one more. Maybe I'll finish this and then.
What an odd interaction. Such a casual slide.
Wouldn't it be crazy if I
Look
turned
at
the camera
My
around?
water
and
bottle
looked
has
at
no bones. Wait, what is that? It's my water bottle.
it? Why is it like that?
Awesome, guys. It's 1:33, so let's make a start. I'm excited to be with you guys today. Yeah, excited to go through this. I know the first couple of classes you had Spencer teaching you, which is awesome. Music theory, going through that. A little bit of an introduction to natural numbers. So I'm excited to step into natural charts today. So obviously we'd be using your Band Dynamics books if you have that, or it's in your bag. Make sure you pull that out, and then excited for class today. I wanted to start today, even just like telling what we're, even kind of going through what we're gonna do. So we're gonna do an intro to natural charts, like I said. We'll kind of go through some stuff in the book, have some notes, and then at the end we're gonna try out a song together. A song that I usually don't reveal what song it is. I usually see if people can guess it, but it's very tricky to guess it. But we'll see what happens. We'll do a mystery song at the end, and then at the end of this class, I'm going to give you guys a homework assignment, which will be out of the book. So get ready for that. We're back to school. It's going to be great practice. So we're going to take a couple of weeks here, go through natural charts. We'll do that. I love, even though we're going to go into natural charts, I just want to open in prayer. And we can go from there. So, yeah, let's get ready. Prepare your hearts. Let's pray. Father, we just thank you for today. We thank you for this Tuesday. Lord, we just thank you for your presence. And Lord, we just commit this time to you. Lord, I pray even as we learn about charting, natural numbers, Lord, we just invite your presence. We just invite you into this space. Lord, thank you for this tool that can be used just to be more effective as a band, as a team, to lead people into your presence, Lord. So we just thank you. I just pray it be a great time. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Well, like I said, if we haven't met, my name is Richard. I'm excited to get to know you guys better over this semester, over this year. But today we're going to be going into natural numbers and natural charts. And this is something that I learned. Like you guys, I attended a school of worship. I did one in Colorado, and it was in the school that I learned how to do natural numbers. And at my church, I'm originally from New Zealand. I think I told you guys, but I was at a church there. We never used this system, and so when I came to Colorado, we started learning about it. It was something that was very foreign to me. I was like, I have no idea what this is. I never really liked math, so when I saw numbers, I was like, oh great, this is not good. And one of my responsibilities was to make these charts. I did an internship, and one of my roles was to make charts for new songs, even updating old songs. And so I got to know this really well, and for me, it really changed. It really made me a better musician, a better worship leader, and really helped me be able to lead a team, even just as a musician. The last few years I've been playing a little bit more bass, so even just it's helped in so many ways knowing this system. And I remember being in New Zealand at my church, and those days maybe you've experienced it where you're on a stage, you're leading, and then you're looking at your team and you're trying to call out let's go to the D chord, and everyone's like, what are you saying? And everyone thinks you're saying E or you're saying G, and it gets very confusing. But in this system, you can just throw up numbers, and it's very easy to communicate, even when you can't maybe you can't speak into a mic to tell the team what to do. You can really communicate effectively. So that's kind of my background on this. So if you're a little bit I don't know what this is, I was in the same place, and it really, I always tell people it's kind of like connecting the dots. I don't know if you remember those drawings that you do as a kid. I have 3 boys, and they love like coloring in, and some of the books are those like connect the dots. So you don't see what the picture is until you do it like the whole thing. I feel like Nashville Charts is a little bit like that. You might not get it all at once, but then you'll be like, oh, I see it now. I get it. And I think what Spencer led us into will set us up. So I'd love for you to take your books, and we'll start, I believe it's page 2 in your book. So we'll kind of go back, I think it's chapter 1. And I think it's, page 2. So there's 3 questions on that page. The first one is, what is the Nashville number system? And the Nashville number system, you can follow along or read from those notes. The Nashville number system is a method for creating chord charts in a fast and efficient manner. And it says that it was developed in a studio by Neil Matthews in the 50s. I love that it says that studio musicians could learn songs on the fly. I think this is one of the easiest ways to learn songs, where it's just so quick, it's so easy. And we'll compare like some different charts a little bit, but just that you can think of someone sitting in a studio, they're getting paid money to be there, and it's got to be quick. You know, they're sitting in, maybe listening to it one time through, and then they go, you know, they're gonna hit record and they're gonna play their part, and so they're like taking notes, like, okay, it's a 1, it's a 4, so just think of that, like it's such a great way to learn songs quickly. And it says here, rather than applying the chords of a song according to the rhythm of the lyrics, the Nashville number system transcribes the song as simply the chord progression, the rhythm, and the song structure. So maybe you can underline that or write that down if you're taking separate notes. So the Nashville number system transcribes the song as simply the chord progression, rhythm, and song structure. So those 3 main things. And this is kind of like a hybrid almost, this chart. You know, we'll see in a little bit, but we're so used, I remember being so used to the charts, we had the chords and the lyrics together. So it's that, but also I remember doing charts where it's like proper sheet music, and it has all the like notation and everything. It's like almost like you're meeting in the middle, taking a bit of both from each. So that was the first question. The next question, why do we use the Nashville number system at Radiant? Like why have we adopted that here? Why do we use that with our teams? Why do we train our volunteers in that? Like we talked about in the studio, it says musicians and singers can learn and memorize songs with speed and efficiency. This allows teams to play a song in any key at any time, since the system uses numbers based on scale degrees rather than chord names based on the key signature. And then it says here, the method requires only 1 chart for every song. So there's no longer a need to print off a new chord chart for a new key. I remember doing that in my church in New Zealand. I would be learning a song, and then someone would be like, hey, actually, can we move it from key of A to key of G? And I'd be like, oh, great. And now I had to like run upstairs, print off new charts, run back down, and like it just took way longer. Or if you come in on a Sunday morning, and I've done this before where it's like, man, I'm kind of like a little bit sick. My voice is like, I can really sing those low notes really well. How about we just go to like A flat instead of like A, or like let's just adjust it. And without this system, it can be a lot harder. The team would be like, oh great, now I have to print off another chart, or so that's a huge benefit. And then the last question, how do they work? And we're gonna kind of like spend our time on this today. It says many worship teams are familiar with the chord names of the song being put over the lyrics. These are called like your standard chord charts. I feel like all of us are probably used to seeing those. The Nashville number chart is only 1 page long. So we're going to go into some examples soon, the handouts Nick gave you. But that is one benefit, where I remember there would be some songs, depending on how like long it was or how many like sections, there'd be some songs that are like 4 or 5 pages long. You're just like, man, I can't flip this over, or like, so the benefit is just 1 page. It's really easy to learn. It includes the time signature, the beats per minute, and the writer of the song. That can be helpful when there's like a lot of songs that maybe start with holy, or it's like it's from Bethel, or it's from, so that's helpful as well. I always tell people that the number chart can be thought of like a map. It starts and ends in the same place, every part of the chart follows the map or the structure of the song. And then I've actually seen this work. It kind of ties in with the studio thing too. It says in theory 1, you should be able to play through the song. So if you're given one of these charts, Here For You is kind of the top one I'm looking at right now. So if you were given that, you never heard Here For You, but you're familiar with the national number system, you could essentially play the song. Maybe it's a new song that one of you writes, and you have this chart, and you're like, hey, I want to do the song, and then you give your team the chart, and they could literally like play through it. You might have to run it through a couple of times, like, hey, dynamics, we could change here, but essentially that's the point. Is it's so easy to pick up, so easy to follow, so easy to read. You can kind of just go without too much stopping. I also say it can be thought of as like a tour through someone's house. Like the song is the house, and each part of the song is like different rooms within the house. And you can see, if you want to look at your handouts, like the Here For You chart, you can see this. It says that each part of the chart is composed of 4-bar phrases. So what I mean, at the top, you'll see it here. I've got boxes here, but it'll be like 4-bar phrases. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're not gonna have like 5 or 6 on one line. It's just gonna be 4 bars. So it kind of like keeps it like more condensed. You'll see on some charts that they can do like 1 column or 2 columns. I think Being Throned is that. You can kind of see if the song's a little bit longer, then you kind of like can have the option to do that. But first, I want to show us the difference just between the standard chord chart and national numbers, so you kind of get a feel for kind of what we're stepping into today. And just for frame of reference, like who here feels like really comfortable with national numbers? Just raise your hand. Who here like never learned that, or that's great. That's almost 50-50. That's really helpful. So I want us to look at, let's see here, I think it's page 3. Yeah, page 3 in your book. The song is Ryan's song, All For Love. And you have the standard chord chart. So it's in the key of F. And you can see here kind of, I feel like what we're maybe used to is that standard chord chart. You have the chord over the lyric. And in that example, I don't know if maybe you guys can relate. I remember learning songs that way, and I would go to ultimateguitar.com or whatever it is, and then I would learn that, and then I'd start playing it, but then I realized, oh wait, the B flat chord is not on Son, it's actually on God. Like maybe the way I printed it out, it was the wrong format, and like it. So that burned me a few times. So that's the standard chord chart. And then you have the national number system example 2. So it's a similar thing, but we're shifting to the numbers. So obviously in the key of F, the 4, your B flat is going to be your 4, the 5 will be your C, the 1 over 3 is your F over A, 6 is your D minor. So you kind of, a lot of what Spencer talked about in the last couple of weeks is kind of coming in useful here. And then the third example is the national number chart. So it shows that the lyrics are taken away, but it also, the example 2 is helpful because we're talking about numbers, but then at the same time, you don't really know how long each chord has been played for. So that can be confusing. But obviously the example 3, where it's written out 4, 5, 1 over 3, 6, you know that each chord is played for a bar. So you're getting, that song's in 4/4, so the 4 will be held out for 4 counts, the 5, 4 counts, 1 over 3, etc. So that's one really helpful thing. For the example 2, you're getting the numbers, but you're not sure. Obviously, you can listen to the song and figure it out. But that quick reference is like, oh, easy. Like this is really helpful for when we do like new songs. We have a Thursday rehearsal. It's just like it makes it easier, and your hope as a worship leader and a musician is to just like save time. Like if you're spending like 10, 15, 20 extra minutes talking through chords, and when you can save time in a nice chart, it makes so much difference. So that's kind of the difference there. Now I want to jump ahead in your book to page 13. We can go there. I want to show us an example of an actual chart, and then we'll go into your handouts. So here's an example for the song At Your Feet. The top left corner, you can see on that chart, it has the BPM, 72 beats per minute. The time signature is noted, and you can see there it's in 6/8. And the top right corner notes the writers of the song. And then I'm going to show here. There's like common song sections. So you'll see that in your chart. And I'll say this up front too, like there's no right or wrong way to make a chart. I think being consistent with it. But I think making it really clean, and we'll talk through some of the ways to make it, but you can really make it your own. So there's common song sections, you have a bridge, chorus, end, intro, instrumental. You can use all of those. Those are really helpful, and you can see on the board for our song, a mystery song, we'll do at the end. You have like intro, verse 1, chorus. So it's a way to kind of like show what each section is going to be where you're playing. So At Your Feet is an example of a chart there. Now I want to look at, in your handouts, you can go to Be Enthroned. I think it might be in the second one. Look at that one. I feel like I want to highlight this one because it's another great example. So again, I want to talk about, you can notice the BPMs there in the top left corner, 71. You have your time signature, you have the people who wrote the song, you obviously have the title, and then you can see like the symbols that are used throughout the chart, and we'll go into those symbols next. Do you guys feel comfortable? Did Spencer talk about like time signatures? So obviously, I would say most popular, the ones that you're going to use the most in charting for worship, you'd be having like a 3/4. So 3/4, 6/8, and then 4/4. So those would be the three that you're most likely going to come across. Every now and again, you can get some different ones. But those would be if you're charting out songs, those are the ones you probably encounter the most. So obviously, like 3/4, if you're familiar with that, would be very a lot of hymns are 3/4. In Christ Alone is 3/4. Amazing Grace. So just kind of a lot of hymns have that feel. 6/8 is a lot of songs. Reckless Love. If you're in prayer today, we did 39 Stripes. That's in 6/8. Kind of has that almost bit of a swing feel to it. And then 4/4, very thousands of songs in that. So, but one of the things I guess to talk through that is the top number, where you have like the 3, the 6, the 4. That top number is how many beats you count. So if you want to write that down, if you're maybe a little rusty on it, or if you haven't had anyone talk through it, it's how many beats to count on that top number. And then the bottom number, so like the 4, so this bottom number or that here, the bottom number is what type of notes to count. So here we're 3/4. You're gonna count 3, but it's gonna be quarter notes. So it'll be a 4. And then for here you got 6/8. So you're gonna count 6 for each bar, and then it's gonna be eighth notes. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 4/4, it's going to be quarters again. You're going to count 4. So this song you'll see here, it's in 4/4. So for each square, each chord, it's going to be 4 counts, and then we'll go to the next chord. Does that make sense with time signatures? Any questions on that? Any clarity or anything?
Could you go over the 3/4 again?
Yeah, so 3/4 obviously will be, you count in quarters for it, but you just need to count to get three quarter notes. So it's similar to 6/8, but it's a little bit straighter. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so it's like a waltz.
I think, yeah, it is. It's kind of like old school. Like I would say most of the hymns are like 3/4. But there are certain songs that can be sometimes tricky to pick out. Like, is it 3/4? Is it 6/8? There's a little bit of a similarity in them. But yeah, you just count to 3 for that with those quarters. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, any other questions on that? Or anything we've talked about up till now?
You heard a song with Oscar Gamboa?
We did. It was pretty cool.
That's
yeah,
pretty
they came up like I don't know, it might have been a few years ago now, and we did like a bit of writing with them. So it was a sweet time.
Which was that? Who's Oscar Gamboa married to?
I think at
No,
no, it's not. That's her brother-in-law.
Yeah, he's the
Sammy.
keys player. Yeah,
Julian's the like, well, who they all play.
yeah, it's like a family band. It's pretty cool.
That's my obsession.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Chris Tomlin. Sweet. Let's go through the handouts. So we'll do here for you. And actually, if you want to open your book to, I think it's page 12. So page 12 in your book, and we'll look at the handouts. I'm going to show you some of these like number chop symbols. So we're looking at, we're obviously looking at being thrown before. I want to go through these. So these are symbols that you'll use to write out charts. So obviously we'll talk about like the chords, but there's ways to like, I guess, add in like certain dynamics. Like there'll be some songs where you'll see here there's like repeats, putting in like a crescendo, decrescendo, final chord, note value. We'll go through that soon, but this is where you kind of bring in some of that like notation, the like real like massive like finale like music sheet. You kind of bring it into this world. And you really can make it your own, but I think having as much communication on these charts can be really helpful to your band and your team. So let's go through that first symbol. So you see it's like a percentage sign. So this one here, it means, you can see the definition, so that means repeat previous bar. And you can see on that page 12, it gives an example. So it has a 1, the percentage sign is 6, the percentage sign. Write that on here so it's bigger. So what that means is that you're going to play, this is 4 bars, so you're going to play the 1, and then you're just going to play the 1 again for your second bar. Then you go to the 6, and you'll play the 6 for the second bar.
Why don't they just put the letter, or I mean the number again?
Yeah, so you could do that. And again, it's really up for like, sorry, that's wrong. It's really up for like personal preference. I think personally, I like using the percentage sign because it can get like, if you do a full chart, I think sometimes it kind of breaks it up nice. Like if you look at Here For You, you can go into that verse and it has a 1, that percentage sign, the 1 percentage sign. So yeah, you're not wrong if you want to just do like 1, 1. But I think like when there's a full chart, it kind of just gives it a little bit of space and you can kind of identify it maybe a little bit clearer. So you can do it either way, but the percentage sign is kind of a nice way to break it up. So that just means repeat the previous bar. Any questions on that one? Yeah.
How would you go about like MDing that, like, I guess that symbol? How do you speak that like to everyone, like when you're music directing?
I think you could, yeah, I feel like you could probably just say like, hey, let's play the 1, let's go 1 again, and then let's go to 6. And we'll play the 6 one more bar, and then you could be like, yeah, let's just repeat that again.
Okay.
So there's not like a specific term for it?
Yeah, that's what I was
that
wondering.
symbol?
I don't think so.
Percentage.
Because obviously, like it's one way on paper, but I guess when you're MDing, you can't be like halfway division symbol, like
Yeah.
the users.
Yeah, I feel like most times I've seen Spencer or Nick, they've kind of just been like, hey, let's go to the 1, let's stay on the 1, and then let's go to the 6, stay on the 6, kind of like they'll communicate that way, and then let's cycle that or something. Yeah, we'll see the next question.
Yeah, for the verse on Here For You, it has 1 and repeat, and it has 1 again and then repeat. Couldn't you just put like another repeat sign in place of that second one, so it's like 1, repeat, repeat, repeat?
Can you say that again?
Yeah.
So on the top, so for the verse.
Oh, yeah, yep, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you totally can. So you could just have 1, repeat, repeat, repeat. So you can do that. So there's some nuances where you can get personal preference, but yeah, you're right. You can do that. And I like using the percentages. I think it kind of breaks it up a little bit. But yeah, you're right. You just do the one. I think what Ryan was saying for you just go 1%. Is that what you were saying, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can totally do that.
I want to say it.
And then it just makes the one chord stand out way more. Yeah. So let's go to the next one. So that's a diamond symbol. So you have that there on your chart, on your book, I mean. This one means let the chord ring for a full bar. So obviously the example, excuse me, you have it around the 6, 4, 1, and 5. So this is a little bit different. It really depends on the song. But if you look at Be Enthroned, that chart, I think it's in the first chorus. First chorus. It drops down into that. Do you guys remember it? You guys probably know the song. Be enthroned upon the praises of 1,000 years. It's such a good song. But it just like, you'll hear it, but it's different from Here For You, but it's like you have when you go to those chords, it's obvious you're notating it that the whole band is going to hit the 6 and just hold it out. So you're not going to play through it. It's not going to be like a down strum or something through it. Everyone's just going to hit that 6, hold for 4 counts, and go to the 4 counts. So that just shows on your chart that there's some dynamics there. It kind of like breaks it up. Like you don't have to put those in, but I think it's really helpful for your team and just gives a little bit more language to the song. So the 6, 4, 1, 5, you see that and Be Enthroned. Any questions on the diamond, on that symbol? You guys feel good? Sweet. And obviously, like the example, you put your chord inside of it. So if there's a 1 chord, 4 chord, you do it like that.
So essentially that way it's like you're not just making a whole like long basically like chord chart. It's just like just repeat it.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's the diamond. So we can go to the repeat symbol. So you see there, that's an example. I feel like I've seen this a lot on like kind of the classical sheets. We have those a ton. So you have the example 4, 5, 6, 1 over 3. The repeats are a great way to make your chart shorter. So that's something, usually when I write out a chart, is I usually do one that's really messy. It's kind of a draft, and I'm just like listening to the song, just making notes. But I'm thinking through ways that I can make it shorter. There's some songs that you can't, because they're just like, maybe there's different chords in verse 2 but in some songs like you can, maybe verse 1 is exactly the same as verse 2, and there's like the same chords, chorus is the same, so there's some ways we can make it shorter. So I think it's Here For You, if you want to look at that one. Nick, I don't know if you have a spare. Is there any spares? You put them right here. Oh, thank you, man.
Yep.
So we can look at Here For You. This has a few repeats in here. This one gets a little bit technical too, but you can see on the verse. So you have that intro, you have the verse. So you go all the way through the verse, and it goes into the pre-chorus. To Your Heart to Open, that pre-chorus, you go through there, and then you hit like a diamond on the 4, and then it holds for a 2nd bar, and then you see a little repeat sign there. So that means you're going to go straight back into the verse. So in some ways, they could have written it out in full. They could have had like verse 1, pre-chorus, and then verse 1 down here. But the way that they repeated that just made the chart a little more condensed. This one gets a little bit technical. I don't think there's only been like 2 songs I've seen this used on. But in classical sheet music, you often find like I forget what it's called. You have like the one first ending, second ending. So you can see that here on Here For You. But I've really only seen that on another song. I think it was Hosanna from Hillsong. But yeah, it's kind of cool. You have that, so you can get pretty technical like that, but there are simple ways to do it as well. But the repeats are really nice. See, in the chorus, you have another repeat. Otherwise, it would be like four lines instead of two. So just like shortening that. And then, are you guys familiar with like how repeats work? Is that so? Obviously, you start up here, verse. So you go all the way through, and you play through into the pre-chorus. Then you go back to the top. But then when you come back through this time, you're gonna go straight to here. Like it's not like you're on this never-ending like loop. Yeah. Any questions on repeats? Just feel good with that. You good? Now let's go to note value. So note value. You can see here. There's like little like dashes, little lines. So note value is when you use this when two or more chords take up one bar. So you can see the example. So you can see that there's a 1 and a 2 within like parentheses, and they have like little dashes. So what that's talking about is it kind of goes back to your time signature. So for your 4/4, you can see in that example, there's 4 lines in that first bar. So the 1 is getting 3 counts, and the 2 is getting 1 count. So with that time signature 4/4, you're always having to get those 4 counts into that 1 bar. And this doesn't always happen. It really depends on the song. But usually if there's songs that have like little passing chords or like it's a quicker song, you'll find these in there. So these can be really helpful. And one thing that we'll see in this song is that you don't have to notate it when, let's say it's a 4 and a 5, taking up 1 bar. If they both get 2 counts, you don't have to write anything. Again, it's personal preference, but you don't have to write anything. But if, say, this one gets 3 counts, you want to notate that, and that one gets 1. So it's just really helpful for your team as they're learning a new song to know that. Because if you don't have that, it can just be really like, oh, is the 4 getting 2, or is it 3? Just making that really clear can help a lot. Any questions on that one? That's good. Sweet. Now we can go through, these ones are pretty easy. So crescendo and decrescendo. These ones here, just showing dynamics. When I write out a chart, I'll usually write them for like a big build. Like there's a section of the song, maybe it's the last verse or the bridge or something's really like building. We use that there to kind of show. And then also a decrescendo can be helpful too, where it's like maybe at the end of a bridge, it's like the song is coming down and it's going to go to a low chorus. You can write in like a decrescendo. Some of this stuff just really helps kind of give language to the song, the chart. It can be really helpful. Let me see if we have an example of that. I think 10,000 Reasons, if you want to look at that one. It's a good example. In the third verse, I think it's the last verse, it's that 10,000 years and then forevermore. It just builds on that last line. And you can, like, when you listen to that song, that's pretty epic part of the song. So you don't want to like put in like dynamics, like crescendos everywhere. But like if there's like one part of the song, it's like this is where we're really gonna like build. It can be really helpful. So that's crescendo, decrescendo, and you can also see there's a decrescendo on 10,000 Reasons, like the instrumental. So in that song, and on that day when my strength is failing, like that verse starts out really chill. So it's kind of cool to put that there to kind of symbolize we're going to drop down there. And obviously as a worship leader, you can cue that, but having it in the chart can be really helpful too. So that's crescendo, decrescendo. Final chord is the next one. This can be really helpful just to show what chord you end on. So if it's like we're going to end on the 1 chord, that can be really helpful. So you can see on Here For You, there's an example there. It's a little symbol. Just you put it over to your chord. So if you end on the 1 chord, you just do that and then put the 1 there. So it just shows like, hey, we're going to end the song on that chord. So So that's really helpful. The next one is a push. And this is something that you don't always encounter, but some songs have this. This means that the chord comes like a half beat before the downbeat. So a great example of that is, let me see here, I think it's God's Great Dance Floor. Do you guys know that song?
I love that song.
It's a little bit older now, but that song's awesome. So you can see here it's got that little like tick. So in that song, you see it's over the 4 and it's over the 5. So the idea behind that is that chord comes like half a beat before the downbeat. So it's not played straight, if that makes sense. I wonder if I can show you. Let's see if this is on. Oh yeah, thank you. If that's plugged in. Oh yeah. So then that first chord would be forget the next chord. So the one in the, I think it's the 4 and the 5 that are pushed. It's the same with you have me. So that one's pushed. So if you're writing a chart for that, you would put like a tick over that one, just to kind of show that that chord is pushed. Because otherwise, yeah, you're learning the song and you're just playing it straight, and you're like, man, this doesn't sound right, or it's just like helpful to notate that. Any questions on that one?
Does You Inhabit have a push? I feel like I'm trying to recall like never mind.
I don't know if it does. It definitely has like those like percentage, the parentheses, like you would see that because there's when you think about the bridge. What section
Yeah.
are you thinking of?
It's like you are invited and you come rushing in. It's that one part where it's like
In the chorus, or
trying to think of what song now at this point. I felt like I thought that was there, but maybe I don't know.
yeah.
You're
I think it's straight. Yeah, I think it's straight. Like it's really helpful to like notate that. I'm trying to think of another example, but yeah, God's Great Dance Floor came at heart. Great example of that.
What's God's Great Dance Floor again?
It's the
Oh my gosh, I was so.
God's Great Dance Floor. It's kind of an old song now, but
He's so funny.
that's a good
Do you
one.
think Revelation song is an old song?
I would think so. I mean, it's probably like, when did that come out? 05?
What did you grow up on?
What did I grow up on, like worship wise? I would say probably Delirious and Hillsong United.
Oh.
Yeah, Hillsong United were kind of my. Yeah. I don't know if, do you guys remember like old Hillsong United? Like, I don't know if you, like One Way or
yes.
yeah, Tell the World.
Tell the world.
I don't know if you remember that. There's some old songs now. But yeah, definitely cut my teeth on Hillsong United for sure. But yeah, God's Great Dance Floor. If you haven't listened to that song, you should listen to it later today and just kind of get a feel for that push, the push chords. King of My Heart is another one. I think Yes and Amen is another one. Do you guys know that one?
Yeah.
Pat Barrett, Chris Tillman, that one. I'm trying to think through some other examples. But if you think of any, yeah, let us know. So that's the push symbol there. The next one is hold chord for another bar. This one's called a tie. So you can see that there. Let's see here. I think Be Enthroned is a good example. Yeah, so Be Enthroned on that first chorus. I can play it for you guys too. So on the 5 at the end of the chorus, you have a tie. So we talked about the diamonds. So be enthroned, hold them out. it's saying that you're not going to play it again, but you're holding it
As
for,
a measure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're
Was it half
really
measure?
playing that 5 for 8 counts.
Whoa.
So it's really
I've
helpful.
always wondered what that symbol
Line.
was. I never
So-
knew.
Wicked.
That's really nice to notate that.
Actually,
So I feel like there'll be a lot of songs that'll do that, especially after like first chorus or going into. You see it happens again here, going into the bridge, instrumental, and then they hold that one. So that's a great example. The other one sometimes gets used, but you can do like a no chord played. So maybe there's a drum chorus, drums only chorus, and you can just write that like no chord for that section, so that you can do that.
So for the hold in
Yeah.
being thrown in the intro, why is there a hold if you're just playing one again?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So the one you're letting the chord ring for a full bar, and then you're playing another one, and then letting that go for a bar. How come there's a hold here in between the two? Is there a reason? Because doesn't the diamond mean you're holding it for the chord?
Yeah, I think it's probably similar to that first chorus. It's been a while since I've heard that instrumental, but I would say like the 6 is a diamond,
Yeah.
the 4 is a diamond, and then you're hitting the 1, and then you're just holding that out for 2 bars.
Oh, so you
I think
so
like
instead of playing another one,
Yeah, so I think that 1 would get 8 counts. You just hold it, diamond, and then diamond again. So, yeah, I feel like that's kind of what they're saying there. Yeah, any questions on this part or anything on like one of these songs you're like, I don't know what that means, or yeah, any questions so far? That's good. Cool. So let's go to page 14. So I want to do a little bit of a practice worksheet. So page 14 in your books. This will be similar to what we looked at the beginning of class for the song All for Love, which was kind of like translating them from lyrics to chords to natural numbers. So this is just a practice so we can kind of get in that frame of mind as we're going to chat in Trimble. So we'll try to go through this pretty quick, but you can see in your book there are section 1 that's for the song New Rain. So there's some chords missing, so feel free to write in your book. But the first one has the chords. So we're in the key of G. You have starting out on E minor, but there's like a couple of chords missing in there. So I'll play through it on the piano, and I'd love for us to, teamwork together and try and figure that out. So we'll be obviously in the key of G.
Nobody flipped to page 37.
Yeah, nobody look at your answers in the back. The other thing, right now, don't think of numbers. So just think of like the actual chord names. So this is G. I'll play through that.
C, G, D, E minor, C, G, D.
Yeah, anyone else agree with that? Feel good? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, nice work. So you guys can write that in. E minor, C, G, D. E minor, C, G, D. And now for the next one, section 2. So now it's a like blank slate. So now once you guys know the chord names, I want you guys to write in what they would be number-wise. So obviously you know it repeats, but think through key of G, and then when someone has that, feel free to raise your hand. And,
6 minor, 4, 1, 5.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yep, and that's awesome. Now obviously it repeats again. Yeah, great job. And one of the things you can do is, I think Spencer might have hit on this, is, and you were correct in saying it, like the 6 minor. But when you write it out, I usually will just write like 6. So I can just write 6. But then if there's some songs that's like a major, say it was like 6 major, I'll usually like notate it like that. So usually I'll just write 6. Most of the time it's like that's going to be a minor. Or if it's like a 2, it's like going to be minor. But if it's a major, I'll like notate that. So make that special. And just all the other ones, it's like it's going to be minor. And then for natural numbers, the last one, obviously you guys can go ahead and do that, but just filling in that so you kind of get in that practice.
Are we using any of the new symbols that we learned?
You don't have to do this one.
4,
Yeah, that'd be funny if you were like just trying to use every single symbol. Crescendo, tie, diamond, all of it. Sweet. Any questions on that page, that worksheet? Can see clear, need help? Guys feel good? Cool. So now I want us to chant a song together. So I don't know if there's any guesses from that. I don't know if anyone's ever got it from the previous year, so maybe I shouldn't ask it anymore, but it's always fun, you know. I don't know if anyone has, so it's going to be in the key of B. It's 74 beats per minute. It is from Upper Room Did Lead It. They didn't write it, but
Can we get an album? Which Moments album?
Here's
it was?
the B
I
chord.
was about to say,
yeah, he plays it.
That helps.
I think. Well,
You guess?
Is it I Wanna Know You?
That's a great song. It's not that one though. It's from I think Mosaic Church wrote it.
oh dang.
What's in the parentheses?
Parentheses will be there'll be 2 chords within there. So whenever there's 2 chords, that's when you use that one.
And why did you put ticks underneath the 4 and 5 right there?
This is for to show note value, and yeah, I feel like I maybe didn't describe that super well. So the 4 and 5 will be so obviously we're in 4/4. This is showing what chords get to add up to 4. So this one gets 3 counts. This one gets 1. But you only need parentheses when there's 2 chords within a bar, and we'll see this on the song. So I'll tell you the song. We're gonna do Tremble.
No.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
And then
of course.
So do Tremble. I have Spence here, so I'm gonna invite Spence to come up and
Yes.
Spence. To start off, I thought it'd be really cool to play in the key of B, do a little bit of air training so we get familiar with that key. And then
Yeah, ear training.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Training's here.
All right. We'll start with notes, and then we'll hit chords. You all know the drill. All right, here's the scale. I'll play it through, and then same as always, eyes closed, play 2 notes. No cheating. No cheating.
Clever.
Yeah, we'll go from there. So here's the B major scale. Feel good? All right, eyes closed. I'll play 2 notes. Guess what the second note is, and throw up the number when you think you have it. One more time. All right, final answer. Open your eyes. 3, 5,
Whoa.
6,
Hold on,
4, 7. Correct answer is 5. That is a perfect fifth interval, fifth note of the scale. All right, let's do a couple more. Eyes closed. No cheating. Final answer. Open your eyes. 7.
What?
7.
So the 7 is resolved by the octave.
Yes. Yeah, so a good question. When you hear an interval, think about where does this note want to go? Where does this note want to resolve? So the 7 wants to resolve up.
So close, yeah.
Like that. All right, let's do chords. Let's do chords. This is the one. Eyes closed. Here is the chord to guess. So here's 1. Open your eyes. You got 5, 6, 2, maybe 4. The correct answer is 6.
Wow.
The first question to ask when it comes with determining what you think the chord is, does this sound major or minor? It's a minor chord. It sounds fairly sad, I would say. Think about too the bass note and the movement of the bass note. We're going from 1 all the way up to 6, and this is a major 6 interval. So the interval in the bass will indicate what chord it is as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Yes.
All right. We'll guess one more, then we can dive into the song itself. Here's 1. Here's the chord to guess. Last time. All right, open your eyes. It's a 4. 4 chord. Diego, I see where you're coming from. The 4 is relative to the 2. So it is easy to get those two confused. Yep, that's a 4 chord. It's a similar thing. Think about the bass note. You're moving from 1 to 4. Any questions? No questions? Great. Yeah, let's dive in.
Yeah, let's so what we'll do for Trimble is we're going to trot it out together. So Spence is going to play through each section. So we'll go through the intro first, so just these 4 bars. And all these squares are where we need to put chords. So we'll start with the intro, he'll play through the progression, and then I'd love for you to raise your hand if you feel like you have it, and shout it out. We'll go through the song. Good question before we start?
Yeah. Are we doing numbers or the?
Yeah, good question. We'll do numbers.
So you don't need to know a key for numbers.
Yeah, and sometimes it's helpful. Like he's gonna play in key of B again, so we just did some intro in key of B. So this song will be in B. Sometimes that can be like helpful just to know. Okay, I'm learning a song that's gonna be in key of C, or I think that helps a lot. But for this exercise, we know it's in key of B, and then we'll just write in numbers. So just be thinking through numbers, that language. Yeah. Let's go for the intro. Through again.
Six, 4, 1, 3.
Really close.
Oh,
You said 6-4.
I said 6, 4, 1, 3. Maybe 6, 4, 1, 5.
Yeah. Yep. 5.
Dang, I got the
Good.
first.
That was really good.
He plays that every time you get one right.
Yeah, I'll play the chord that you got right every time. You get it right.
Can you play a 3? I just want to see where I went wrong.
The 5 and the 3 are also two sides of the same coin.
Dang, because
They
I
have the same
really thought it was a
function.
3, but I see why it's a 5 now.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Sweet. Let's play through the verse. Thoughts? Similar to the intro, different.
Is it also 6-4-1-5?
It is. Yeah.
It is.
It's a trying to trick you guys. So. And then obviously you write it out like the intro is 6-4-1-5, but then we write it out twice because by the time you sing through the verse, it's like two lines, it's 8 bars instead of just the intro. So we can go to the maybe I don't know if you want to play one. Spence will play one line of verse, and then you'll hear the difference when we go into the chorus. So
I forgot what the lyrics are.
here's the last line of the verse. Any thoughts?
I'm gonna probably put 4, 6, 5.
Yeah, that's correct.
Let's go.
Nice work.
Let's go.
Come
Oh,
on.
I could cry.
Let's go. 4-6-5 the whole time. I tell people too, when you're thinking through the way these chords sound, even to help visualize some of them, is I always think through like a staircase. You have stairs, especially for the chorus. You start on a 4, and then it goes. You skip a step, goes to the 6, and then it's like back down 1. It's like that picture of just like walking up the stairs. So even like getting used to some of that imagery can kind of help. If you're like a visual learner, it can help just thinking through that. Like, oh, the staircase. How many steps is that? Because it feels like a staircase. You're just doing 1, then that, and then back down. So yeah, 4-6-5 the whole time. So this song has a lot of like minor chords, like kind of like building that like tension and that dynamic. So after that chorus, we'll go to the turnaround, and yeah, we're thinking about like this section here. So see if it's the same or if it's different. So we can just go straight into the turnaround. So yeah.
Yes. 6, 4, 1, 2.
Really close.
3.
3.
Yeah.
Yes.
I knew it was.
I thought it was 2.
I thought it was a minor, but I should have said 3.
Yeah, 6-4-1-3. And
That's what I said
3
we would
is
do.
a minor as well. you can feel the way it sounds very like dark and like where the 5 was a little bit more of a lift, where the 3's kind of surprises you. And then let's play through the verse. See if it's the same as verse 1 or if it's different. You'll be correct. You're right. So 6, 1, 3. It's a 2. Not sure. 6, 1, 3. So it's kind of it's a nice change in the song. And then I skipped the chorus. I was meant to be a chorus here, but I skipped it because I was running out of room. And it's exactly the same. So we'll give you that one for free. But let's go to the bridge. Maybe we can do one last line of the chorus, Spence, and then we can go to the bridge.
Can you play one real quick? So we can...
So yeah, we'll play one last line of the chorus, and then we'll go straight to the bridge. And check out the parentheses. It's a little bit different the way the chorus is laid out. So you have parentheses here and here, but then you have one that's in the 3rd bar position. It's going to feel a little bit different. So think of the staircase imagery too. Yeah, let's do one last line of the chorus and we'll go bridge.
So we got 4, 1, 5, 4, 5, 6.
Yep, that's right.
Yes, sir.
Did anyone else get that too? What do you guys think?
No.
I just jumped.
I want maybe Spence, you can play it through one more time, and then just like that staircase picture. It's like so like when you hear it, just that 4, 5, 6, just like he was taking it up. Too is like it's a bit of a change, especially if you're hearing the song played through. I think we've been kind of more stop start, but if you hear that chorus, you have the 4, 6, 5, and then the bridge it goes 4, 1, 5. So even that change with the 1, it like just makes it so much like brighter, bigger, like even like more hopeful. Like and the bridge is obviously like your name is a light, and then it like has that like real declarative. So even like listening through that, because sometimes it can be easy to think, oh, it's probably just the same chords again, but listening through that, and then like that 1's kind of like surprising, and then the 4, 5, 6 is kind of fresh as well. Yeah.
I was wondering why it sounds like it's going up a note when it's going like from 6 to 5. This sounds like someone instead of going down then back up.
Well, like in the chorus, you're saying?
Or like even during the bridge where it goes like 6, 5, 6.
Oh, sorry, I think it might be my handwriting. But
oh.
That's a 4. 4, 5, 6.
Oh, never mind.
So it has that like.
I thought
Oh, my bad.
You're good.
Yes, this is a 4. 4.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
6, 5.
I was like, straight there. Let's bring it home with the chorus. Maybe one last line in the bridge. Again, one last line in the bridge is going to be the chorus. So listen out if it's going to be exactly the same or if it's going to be different in the choruses. Same as the other courses, or
No.
different? Think it's different?
Well, I don't want to be wrong.
Just
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to
Full
think.
send.
You got it. Yeah, full send. You think it's different?
No, I think it's the same.
I personally think it's different.
I think
I think it sounds lighter.
I just forgot what it sounded like though, but
I'll give you a hint. This part's the same. You can see my handwriting. 4, 6, 5.
Oh.
What about the beginning part?
Is it 4 1?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, guys.
Nice. So similar to the bridge where it's got 4, 1, 5. But then obviously all the other choruses are 4, 6, 5, like way more like that building slow, like building like that tension, that dynamic, and then you come out of the bridge. I think you're just like massive part of the song, and you hit the chorus, and then instead of going to 6, you go to the 1. It just gives a big lift, and even the vocal like goes up and like it's really like punches it, and then it just obviously repeats that last line. But any questions on Tremble, you guys?
What key is this again?
Key B. Yeah. But now that we charted out numbers, you could play it in any key. So if you'd be like, okay, key B is a little bit too high, I'm going to do key of A. And it's like, okay, then we just go through key of A. The 6 is going to be an F sharp minor, 4 is going to be D. So you kind of, that theory comes in there. But we don't have to write this out again. It's like this chart is like set in stone. So you can carry this whiteboard with you. I know Tremble. So, yeah, great job, guys. You guys charted out a song. Well done. One thing before we go, we might end a couple minutes early. But one thing I want to talk through is your homework assignment. So, in your book, Band Dynamics, I forget what page it is. I got this through yours. It's going to be the song Break It Open. Let's see here. This is page 38. Actually, no, that is the wrong page. Don't look at that one. That was the answer key.
I was gonna say, isn't that
Don't look at that one.
Go away. Because 37 is the answer key to the other stuff.
Yeah, just ignore what I said. 16, thank you. Yeah, page
Guys, let's be
page
honest.
16 is Break It Open. So this is your homework assignment. So I want you guys to go listen to this song. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Listen through this, and you can see here how you have like some chords that are filled in for you. We'll do this over the coming weeks, but what we did in this book is having 3 practice charts, kind of easier, medium, hard. So we'll start with the easier one. You can see very similar to what we worked on today. It's in 4/4. You have the BPM, name, the writers. You have all the different sections, and then you have repeat symbols. You have percentage sign, and then you can fill in the gaps. So I want you guys to listen through that. There's a couple of chords in here that maybe you might not be super familiar with. It's like a 1/3 passing chord. There's like a 4/6. So there's some of those chords in there. There's actually pretty generous. There's a 3 that's in the instrumental that's given for you. So that was taken care of. But I want you guys to go through and do the best you can. And obviously, like maybe tonight, if you have time, start on it. Just listen through. One of the things I do as well, maybe you could use like a pencil or something and then cross out. But one thing I try and do, first listen, I try and get everything that I can. But if I'm like, I don't know what that chord is. I'm like, I don't spend all of my time on it. I'm like, I'll just come back to that, get everything else. So even do that. Don't feel like you're like, man, I have no idea. Like, just kind of go through, just do the best you can. And then you can check like your answers in the back once you're complete, and then kind of see, wow, I was really close, I was way off. And then I would correct yourself. Like listen back through and just be like, oh, okay, it's a, I don't know, 5 there or something. It's like, oh, I put someone else, but now I can. It's just about training your ear and hearing them more. So, this question back.
Can we sit at the piano?
Definitely.
Do it?
Yeah,
It's hard
definitely.
too.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna ask.
yeah. I do that a lot. I try and like test myself too. I'll listen through the recording, and then I'm like, I just want to play through this and just make sure I've got it right. And yeah, so definitely do that. Any other questions on it? And then we'll circle back next week and see how you did. So for next week, what we're gonna do, we're gonna chart out another song. It'll be more like instead of charting out on the board together, we'll listen through a song, and then we'll have like kind of like this fill in the blank chart, and then we'll also work on "Look to You" from one of Rachel's songs. So we'll work on that next week as well. So yeah, these next couple of weeks we'll just practice and just kind of train out your ear, get familiar with the charting. I think it's going to come in real helpful as you guys are leading in different environments this year, playing like prayer set, students, weekends. It's really going to help you. It's the language we use. So
Yeah.
Any questions before we close up?
For homework, are we doing both of these?
No, just do break it open, and then we'll look to you will be next week during class. So yeah, do break it open, and then we'll see how we guys went next week. So yeah, just give it your best shot, and yeah, it should be fun. So thank you guys. That's it for today. We can end a couple minutes early. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Or probably see you before.
That guy.
Thank you guys.
I just want to come and check.
Go.
95.
95 attempts.
Sub 100. I love it.
Almost not.
Yeah.
Almost not under 100.
That's good, bro.
Oh wait, Richard, is that my notebook?
Oh, it is. Yeah. I tried to steal it.
You guys know, it's like,
Oh.
yeah. It's all online, I don't have to like go to
No.
Richard, I have a question.